I didn't know it was going to be this long. I'm like out of tea. I'm drinking like homemade London Fog. I didn't realize that you can, it's not even homemade, I didn't make it. I didn't realize that you can get London Fog tea pods for Keurig. London Fog. You just put the pod in. The only thing I do is I add just a little bit of like French vanilla creamer. It makes it so tasty. Anyway, so yeah, after that, I basically just had to wait for my doctors to phone me, my cancer doctors. So right away, they put me in there. They said, we're going to get a CT and bone scan just because we want our own test results, just to make sure that it's only where we think it is. And yeah, I think it was like the next week after that I went. So yeah, I got my results the week after his biopsy. The week after that, I went for bone scan and CT. And it's very quick, and yeah, I couldn't eat anything for the CT. But it's weird. So like I went in at like, I think it was like noon, and you get this shot in your arm for the bone scan because it has to sink stuff into your bones so that they can see what's going on, density or something. So then you go in for that, and then you have to wait 3 hours to get the bone scan, but the CT is like in between. It's like 12, I think I got the shot, and then I think it was like 1:30 or something my CT was. And then we like just had enough time. She's like, you can eat after the CT. Your bone scan doesn't matter, you can eat. Like after the CT, we had just enough time, thank God, like Burger King was next door. And I actually started to eat again. I don't, like my body just gave in, the stress didn't matter. We went, and that's the first time in my entire life. We just went next door, and I was like, he's like, do you want a double Whopper? I've never eaten a double Whopper in my life. It's too much. I was like, yes, I will eat a double Whopper. And French fries. I'll take it all. Not really thinking I was going to finish it. I finished that entire fucking Whopper. I ate the whole thing. I ate it as if it, and then I was still hungry. I was like eating French fries. I was like, Steve was like looking like my husband. He was like looking at me like he didn't even really finish his. And I was just like, it's so good. It's like Whopper. And so I polished that off just in time to like go back. So now I've got like this gut full of food, and I have to go for a bone scan. But I've had one before, so I knew what to expect. So you go into this bone scan, and you lay there. Like you lay on this table. You can't have any metal. So I always know to dress like I don't wear anything. So you lay on this table, and you lay perfectly still, but they give you this like warm blanket, so you're all cozy and your head's on a pillow. And it takes an hour. So you have to like lie there for an hour. They turn the lights off for you. You can close your eyes, and then you lie there for like an hour, which would have felt like so good if I didn't have just like a lump of Burger King like right here. And I'm like, oh my God, I shouldn't have eaten so much. And then I was like, oh my God, I might have to fart. But you can't move. I'm like, if I can't fart because I can't really, unless it just pops out on its own. There's no assist. I can't assist because I can't move a muscle. Like you have to just lay there like you're meditating. So I'm like, oh my God, what if I have to fart? I didn't. It went well. It was good. And then, yeah, it was like the next week I had my appointment with my doctors. I had like a radiation oncologist. My cat is meowing. He really wants out. Just give me a few more minutes. I swear I will come let you out. Just give me a few more minutes. So I went to see my doctor, and I knew right away. I was like, this is the doctor for me. Like I knew it. I felt like God gave him to me, because he comes in and he's like wearing a mask and goggles and then like this visor. And he's like, oh, I can't hardly see anything. And he's like, he's like, I can't hear, can't see. He's like, and he lost his stethoscope. He didn't know where his stethoscope was. And I was like, this is my guy. This is my guy. Yes, yes, it is. And he was like, just comforting. So he's like, and I knew I kind of had a feeling that my test results were probably good because it's not the first thing he went to, right? So then after he kind of examines me or whatever, does like a preliminary, kind of listens to my lungs and stuff, he sits back down. Can you just excuse me for a second? My cat is driving me. I gotta let him out. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, I'm back. He would have just driven me batshit crazy. So yeah, then he said, this. Oh, it's almost empty. How did I spill that on myself? Like, okay, so this blanket's going in the laundry. Anyway, so then he said the CT was really good. Then he said, he's like, there's sort of a spot on your liver, but they kind of mumbled something and he wasn't too worried. Didn't really think it was anything. And then he said, he never did tell me where, but he said there was something in my bones. Never did tell me where, but said the bone scan was clear. So they weren't worried because it could be inflammation or it could be anything, right? So yeah, they're like, the lungs are all they're worried about, just my lungs. So I can deal with that. I'm good. So then he gets down to the nitty gritty and it's not curable. He said it is metastatic disease. So it's metastasized to my lungs. It's breast cancer. It's not lung cancer. It's breast cancer. But it's just metastasized like on my lungs. Not in, I don't think, just on. So yeah, it's not curable. And he follows that up immediately with, but we can control it for many, many years. I was like, oh, okay. So then he proceeds, and I don't even know all the treatments that he said that he has lined up for me. But he's like I love him so much because he's the most optimistic doctor. He just makes you feel so hopeful and good because he's like, yeah, we have like 6 lines of defense. We have this, and this, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, and who knows? He's like, by the time you go through all those, there's probably going to be new ones. So I was like, that's optimism. Like that makes me feel really good. I was like, woohoo! Like he thinks I'm going to be at this for a while, so I'm good. I'll take it. I was like, sign me. You couldn't do it soon enough. I was like right now, like you could stick it in my arm. I'll take it like right now. And he's like lining up. He's like, no, he's like, I don't think we can arrange it that fast. Because this was a Tuesday. And he's like, we can't really arrange it that fast. We want to put a port in. He's like, we could probably wait, a few weeks till we get the port. I was like, I'm okay with now. I was like, can we put the port in later, even if I start treatment? And he's like, well, yeah, but we don't really want to. Well, it won't hurt to wait until we get it. I was like, because I'll do that. I was like, I don't care. It's like, I'll start my treatment now and just, you can put it in whenever. And he didn't really, he wasn't really going for it at first. I was like, you can start me tomorrow. He's like, I don't think it'll be that soon. And then he kind of comes back in the room after I finish talking with the nurse, and she gives me all the literature, and there's just stacks. And I never read it because I don't want to know. I just go with what the doctors tell me. I go with how I feel. I don't want to read a bunch of stuff because it's just going to make me nervous. So then he comes back in the room. He's like, yeah, you know what? Let's just get her started. Let's schedule her as soon as we can and let's get her started. And he kind of giggled because I was like, yeah, tomorrow. He's like, haha. But yeah, no, so it wasn't tomorrow. It was the day after. So I went there on Tuesday, and this is what I have to say. If you're watching this and you're going through similar, be vocal. Be very, very vocal about what you need, what you want, and how you feel. Because if I wasn't vocal, it would have taken way longer to get me started and get me going. Right? Just be very vocal. Just say, this is what I need to happen. And I am okay with this. I am not okay with that. Just be as vocal as humanly possible, because how are you going to know? you won't get what you want or what you need if you don't ask and if you're not vocal. So that's my pass along, because both times that I was diagnosed, I just got very vocal. So let's just get on with it. I want this, I want this, I want this. And it works and they move, like, yeah. So yeah, it was like the Tuesday. And by the time I left there, I had my appointment sheet for my first round of chemo. And it was like the day after, it was like the Thursday. So yeah, yeah. And she's like, so I just need you to sign this like thing to say, that you want this. She's like, we know you do, but just we need like paper confirmation sort of thing, like your signature. So yeah, I left that doctor's office knowing that I was starting treatment 2 days later. So it was, I had to work really hard, and I still do, to let go of the not curable part. That was in November. My first round of chemo was in November. And I go every week, or when I started, it was every single week, because he wanted to hit it hard right off the bat. I've had 2 CTs since then. I have no real shrinkage, like nothing's really gone down that much, but it's stable. And as long as it stays stable, the last time he talked to me, which was last week, he said they did see a spot on my spine, but this was the first time since the very first CT that they did anything with the neck. So in my mind, well, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping it's the same spot that they had seen before when the CT said I had bone lesions or whatever, but my bone scan was clear, because he's not that worried about it. He seems to think my treatment's working. He's like, as long as everything stays stable, you could be on this forever. And he's dialed it back now. This is cycle 7 that I'm on. So I did 6 cycles of going every single week, and he said most people, they go 12 rounds and they have to quit because of side effects. So what they're really looking for, because I have some neuropathy in my fingers and my toes, and they really want to prevent that from progressing, because then I lose this treatment. And he really doesn't want me to have to stop. And I don't want to have to stop. I don't want to lose any lifelines sooner than I have to. So he's dialed it back now. I'm going to go 3 rounds and a week off. And we'll do that until we get the neuropathy under control. Or that might just be how it is now. I don't know. But so I watch it really closely. It's not really progressing. I notice like Tuesdays, Wednesdays are kind of bad. And then it starts getting, Thursday night will be like really good. And Friday, Saturday will be really good. So as long as it gets better at times, I think I'll be good. But I really liked, he's like, I was like, I'm not really ready to dial it back. Like, I don't want to quit. I want to keep hitting this thing. And he's like, no, he's like, he's like, I really want you to keep this treatment. He's like, so we have to dial it back, because I mean, as long as it's working and your side effects stay minimal, he's like, you could be on this forever. And I know, because I'm bald from it. No eyebrows, no eyelashes, no hair. But you know what? If I have forever, I can deal with bald forever. I just really liked the idea that he said the words forever, I'll take it. So that's where I am up till now. I do have a port story when I got my port in that I will share maybe in a later video. I'm going to try and take you guys with me when I go for my bone scan as much as I can. Yeah, and I just wanted to do these videos. Because yes, I have cancer. I'm going to be living with it now for the rest of my life, but I have the rest of my life, apparently. But I just wanted to show that I'm going to be taping adventures and fishing and all kinds of stuff that me and my husband are doing. Just to show that there is still life and happiness, and you can find it. It is there. Some days are rougher than others, I'm not going to lie, but it is there.